Oh, good morning, Jane. Can you send me the economic stuff? Yeah, that guy. Okay, yeah, thanks. Come in. Ah. Welcome, Mr. Ryder-Ryo.
Hello, Mr. President.
So, why don't you take a seat?
Yes, sir. What is it that you need?
As you know, the elections are coming up, and I need votes. So, what will give me your votes?
Well, I would go with economic growth. The citizens like that.
Okay, economic growth. Well, teach me about it.
Okay, well, first you'll probably need to know about the PPC curve.
PPC? What's that?
Okay, the PPC stands for production, possibility, curve. And it basically just shows any combination of goods that a country can produce. So on the y-axis, say capital goods. And then on the x-axis, consumer goods. And then the curve was something like this. And let's say a country can produce 10 of this good, 20 of this good. And it produces at the point right there. And at point A, for example, which is inside the curve, a country is not using all its available goods. And then right here, point B, which is on the curve, a country is using all available goods. And then there's also point C, which lies outside the curve, which the country could only get to if it trades with another country or if it expands the PPC and shifts it outwards. An outward shift of the PPC would look something like this. Things that would cause that are things like improvement in technology, because that would increase production, or things like natural disasters or war, that would create an inward shift of the PPC. But what mostly affects the PPC are four things: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So basically capital are like goods that are used in the production process, like tools, machinery, or buildings. So let's say a company buys a new machine, that would increase their productivity, and that would shift the PPC to the right. Labor is basically just the effort exerted by the laborers in the workforce, and so this could be improved by increasing the number of workers there are, or increasing their efficiency, which is basically improved by increasing their education or training. Land refers to any natural resource like wind, water, minerals, or plants, and or the actual land space, and an improvement or increase in any of this would shift the PPC to the right as well. Entrepreneurs are basically the risk takers of society. They invest in and create businesses in order to reap the rewards and increase the overall economic growth of a country.
Alright, so this will sound good. Our country needs to promote trade, improve technology, prevent natural disasters, avoid war, increase natural resources, increase land space, increase the population, and train citizens, right?
And entrepreneurship.
Okay, entrepreneurship.
That's right. Good job, sir.
Anything else I need to know?
Well, you probably should know about the ADAS curve.
ADAS curve?
The ADAS curve stands for aggregate demand, aggregate supply, and it basically shows the total demand and total supply for a country. So on the y-axis, you could write price level, and on the x-axis, we could write real GDP. So the AD curve shifts downwards, slopes downwards, and the AS curve slopes upwards. And then the long run aggregate supply is a vertical one. And to show economic growth, we have to have a rightward shift of the LRIS curve. Factors that can shift the LRIS curve is business investment, which means that businesses invest in capital goods so that their production increases. So that would shift the LRIS curve to the right. And also, other factors that shift the LRS curve are the factors that shift the PPC outwards. So whenever there's outward shift to the PPC, the LRS curve also shifts to the right. And so those factors are factors that affect capital, labor, land, and entrepreneurship. It's important not to get confused with short-run economic growth, which can be denoted by shifts of the short-run aggregate supply and short-run aggregate demand curves. Because, let's say for example, the AD curve shifts to the right, there's an increase in real GDP, which could be seen as economic growth, but there are things called automatic stabilizers, like taxes and government transfers, that cause this shift to be cancelled out. So for example, when the AD curve shifts to the right, the AS curve would shift backwards to move back to the first real GDP number. And this is caused by, for example, higher wages, because there's inflation when the AD curve shifts to the right. So higher wages makes production decrease because businesses have to spend more money on workers. So that would shift the AS curve back to the original real GDP number.
I got it now. Okay, we need to promote investment.
Yeah, and the factors that affect the PPC, like land, labor, capital.
So we need to increase or improve those, right?
Yes, Mr. President. Creating long-term economic growth will earn you a place amongst our best remembered presidents.
Okay, that's what I'd like to hear. Thank you, Mr. Ramo. You're dismissed.
Thank you, sir.